Presented at the UP Vargas Museum in Manila, in partnership with A+ Works of Art in Kuala Lumpur, Synthetic Condition traces itineraries in thinking about how contemporary art creates its own cosmologies through technologies, techniques, and procedures of synthetics. Synthetics assumes a relay of conceptual tenors within this framework. In philosophy, a synthetic statement's truth implicates the conditions of the world, whereas in analytic statements, truth can be gleaned from a statement itself. Synthetic statements require one to situate knowledges in relation to or against the world. In other fields, to be synthetic is to exceed organic materials and natural processes. In this exhibition, synthetics embraces a range of articulations: chroma key, collages and composites, metahistorical film, a video game, homegrown crystals, textile sculptures that cocoon personal memory. Synthetic condition is a proposition. Contemporary art constitutes its own cosmology. Through the relations that make it, its production, circulation, collection, and the infrastructures that support contemporary art, a particular economy and ecology is cultivated. The contemporary becomes its own cosmology, and the cosmological becomes contemporary condition. How can we then imagine artistic form and practice as synthetic agencies? How can we imagine artistic form and practice as synthetic improvisations that disclose their own cosmological imagination? The exhibition's conceptualization takes its cue from what Canadian poet Lisa Robertson proposes as a spatial synthetics. As Robertson elaborates, and I quote, "The most pleasing object of all would be erotic hope. What could be more beautiful than to compile erotic hope with our minds, converting complicity to synthesis? A synthesis of space improvises unthought shape." End of quote. Robertson references a shift from complicity to synthesis. While complicity limits agency to alignment or agreement, synthesis requires a poetic and transformative agency wherein an unthought shape is improvised. This improvisation might play out materially or in terms of process, but always as a, quote, world constituting virtue, always in relation to the world. This thinking is analogous to what philosopher Yuqui proposes as the politics of the cosmos through cosmotechniques. Quote, "The unification of the cosmos and the moral through technical activities, whether craft making or art making. What kind of morality, which and whose cosmos, and how to unite them vary from one culture to another according to different dynamics." End of quote. Extending on Hui's proposition, what imaginations of cosmos can be constituted by contemporary art within the conditions of the contemporary? The forms, processes, and materials that find themselves in the exhibition inform how we situate ourselves in relation to worlds, whether real, virtual, historical, or speculative. In the exhibition, porcelain that simulates the delicacy of paper alludes to how considerations of travel and circulation transform the object of art. A metal urchin, a resin crow, a sleeping tiger disclose an imagination of a world that the artist sees as simultaneously fraught and freeing. Currency becomes a history of both belonging and boundary making. A video game is key in understanding a coded language. Chroma key reveals a precious utopia inhabited by the thriving trans body. In this relay, the cosmological imagination, how worlds are constituted and how they signify, is dislodged from pre-existent, preformed, and natural discourses that have long structured its imagination, and, through contemporary art, is recast as plastic, formative, and constitutive, a synthetic condition.